Hello, 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 hello. Hello, wow, okay. This has been a while. So, yeah, Nebs, but I am here. Just gonna give you all a minute to join. Whoo. Hello everyone, it is so good to see you. I'm seeing familiar names. Hello Beth, hello Mpo, hello Wendy, hello Timelo, hello Karabo, hello Ori, not the man. Oh, okay, wow, happy new year, happy 2022. Yeah, happy new seasons. I'm really excited to be back here doing live streams. I'm going to be doing a couple of live streams this new year here on Instagram. So this is going to be our vibe, our space for the next coming weeks. Hello. Hello warriors. Oh, so good. So good to say that. One thing that I really need to change is to actually come at the exact time I said I will. It's always such a struggle. But we're here and we're going to be doing an energetic forecast for 2022. This is going to be an energetic forecast that's coming from my own gnosis. I've been trying very hard not to read other people's forecasts so that I can tap into the wisdom that's coming through from the guardians of light, the guardians of creation, the holy guardians, so I can share with you what we can expect in this new year in terms of the universal energies, the universal patterns that are going to come through in the new year. So who's excited? Let me know. So I will be sharing from different perspectives. Everyone knows that I love the gene keys, so I'm gonna bring in some perspective from the gene keys. I'm going to be also talking from numerology, quantum mathematics, as well as just the downloads that I have received from my own engagement with this universal energy, right? Whew, okay. Okay, so this 10 people are here, so this feels like a good number to start. Okay, so let's jump in. Let me just ground a little bit. Oh, so much love that you guys are sending me. Okay, so let's jump in. So 2022, right? So let's begin by just reminding ourselves on what is happening in our world in terms of the cosmic experiences that we are all collectively having, right? Because that's connected to what we're going to talk about when we talk about universal energies when we're doing this focus, right? So the first thing we need to remember is that we are in what we call the time of bifurcation, right? And this time of bifurcation is essentially about the evolution of man, the evolution of human consciousness that is happening, that is ongoing. And this evolution particular time often happens when we are changing or entering a new age. Right, so we understand that we are entering the age of Aquarius. You know, some people say we're not yet in the age, but we are at the end of the age that we're in, the age of Pisces, and entering this age of Aquarius. So what we need to understand is that when we enter a new age, divine forces, divine creation, source, creator, God and gods, they give us as a collective an invitation, right? And that invitation is essentially the invitation to evolve, to step into another way of engaging with who we are as eternal beings, as spiritual beings who are having a human experience, who are in human bodies, right? So when this invitation comes through, we start to see a lot of changes happening, right? And these are changes that happen within ourselves and that will also happen out in the external world, right? This is what we call the awakening. We've been talking about the great awakening. So the great awakening is not actually a choice that we are individually making. It is actually our response to the cosmic invitation that's happening organically, because it is time for Earth to evolve, to step into the next level of her evolution. And so since we are the cells of Earth, we are coming along for this journey, right? So your awakening, you being here listening to me, is not it's not a coincidence. It's part of your soul having said yes, right? So the bifurcation is basically made up of two things that will happen, right? One is there will be those of us who hear this invitation, cosmic invitation, to leap, to evolve, to accelerate human experiences, exploration, expression, and so forth and so forth. And then there will be another group that will resist that invitation, or that will not even be aware that there's even an invitation, right? And so there is... Oh, okay. I thought that you guys couldn't hear me. You can hear me, Yeah, okay. Thank you, Timmy. Yeah. So if you're here, you've had the invitation and you are now on a different journey of evolution, and there is other aspects of our human family that is not coming along, or that's resisting that's like saying no, and so forth, right? Yes. Okay, so we've got that. So since we are on this bifurcation, I know that when a new year starts, we want to feel like we're starting on a new slate, and the energies of the last couple of years, they're gonna stop. We're all starting brand new. And I mean, there is a little bit of like a shift in energy for sure when we start a new year, but we are still in bifurcation, and that's not going to change. And it's not something that we as human beings who are in the body, at least, are going to change, or we can refuse to engage with it. And when we refuse, we go into the other group where we're resisting, or we can say yes, right? So bifurcation is happening, evolution is happening. We are transforming and transmuting how we've been engaging, right? And this transmutation that's happening is actually inviting us to move deeper and deeper into our remembrance of who we really are, into unity consciousness, into Ubuntu, into Christ consciousness, right? So let's get that at the very beginning. Okay, so we are... I like to say that, creation is based on quantum mathematics. Everything is calculated. It's beautiful, it's complex, it's confusing sometimes, but everything works on this mathematics, like things we can calculate, right? So from a numerology point of view, which is also a system that, can help and support us in understanding the energies, right? As long as we are not attached to that system, because actually where we are letting go of these old systems that is attached to things being a certain way, like this is the right or the wrong way of doing things. That's what we are dropping, right? So however, we are given tools. God has given us tools so that we can use them to understand the journeys that we are in, so that we can move through this bifurcation, which is actually a very difficult process to move through, to leap in consciousness, to be brave to let go of the past, to let go of what used to feel safe and secure. It's it's difficult. I mean, so first of all, congratulations to all of us who are here listening to this and still engaging with this process, right? Yeah. Yes. So let's talk math, right? So from a numerology point of view, our world moves in cycles of 9, and as of this year, we're in the cycle number 6, right? The year 2022, if you look at the words, has these 3 2s, right? Is that it? Yes, 3 2s and a 0, right? And that tells us something. And then when you add all the numbers, that gives us a 6, that tells us something. So what does it tell us? Last year, just a little reference, last year we're in the year of 5, which was the year of freedom, which was a very individual process where we're engaging with where we are free, where we're in sovereignty. And just our freedom was really challenged, and we felt that, and we all collectively had to deal with our relationship to freedom, right? And that process, I feel it was a very masculine process. It was very like we're interacting with the individual and we're focusing on the individual. Now we are stepping into a 6, which is a feminine frequency. And this feminine frequency is also moving from the individual to union, to partnerships, to relationships, right? To other people, right? So we've had time to think about, what does this mean? What's happening in the world imply for me? What are the choices I'm going to make? Where am I in sovereignty? Where am I in control of my experiences and so forth? And now we are arriving to the frequency of 2. 2 is what? Union. 2 is relationships. So we're having this frequency in the year, just looking at a 222, which gives us that we are going to be working a lot with relationships, with union, with unity, with partnerships, right? So, and a 0 is like, the 0 field is a field of potentiality. So we're looking into what is possible in our relationships, right? With everything that's ongoing, as we are evolving, where do we need to be going as humanity, but as what we call the human fractals, right? So a little bit about the human fractals. So I just wanna just be aware. I jump a lot from one idea to the other, so I hope you're with me. Let me know if you're following. But yeah, it's just how I talk, how I teach. So human fractals, right? Human fractals, it's an ancient knowledge, an ancient frequency that has been known by the sage, by the ancient ones, the guardians, and so forth. And what this is that the process of incarnation, the process of how you ended up in the family that you are in, because that's the other thing about the year 6. It's about relationships, family, home, harmony. Yes, right? So it's really about a lot of these frequencies, about bringing harmony into our relationships, engaging with the family system, engaging with the idea of what is home for me, right? Yes. So, where am I? Fractals, right? Let's talk fractals. So this is an ancient knowledge that we incarnate into what we call fractal lines. So fractal lines are at the very beginning of creation, or at least creation in our planet. There were these 3 source codes that were first created. And it is this source codes, this 3. This is where the concept of the Holy Trinity comes from in a lot of our belief systems, that everything is done in three. So that's because we have these three source codes. And from these source codes, then there was an impulse that created what we call the core fractals. The core fractals are what we may imagine as the ascended masters, these enlightened celestial beings, right? This is actually coming from Gene Key 44 for those who are like into that kind of information. So Gene Key 44 by Rachel Rood. So human fractals, core fractals. So these core fractals, you may know them or have interacted with the concept of core fractal when you hear about the 144,000, right? So the 144,000 are the core fractals, and this can be looked in many different types of ways, right? But for today, we look at it as the original celestial beings that were first created by the source codes, which were 144. From these core fractals, then more souls were able to incarnate through this 144, meaning that every single soul in the planet originate or we can trace our origins through these core fractals. So maybe you are core fractal number 12 or core fractal number 100, right? And so let's say fractal number 12, that fractal number 12 has a lineage that exists in the earth. And that lineage is, if you belong to that fractal, when you come to earth, you are going to resonate and call into your life people who are in the same fractal line as you. And this is what makes up people you call your friends, your family, your ancestry, your loved ones, like beloveds. So every single relationship that we're in is actually connected to the fractal line we belong to, right? And this is what we're working with this time around. We're working with our fractal lines because as we are evolving, we need to evolve how we've been engaging with each other within our fractal lines. Within, whether that's a fractal line that's appearing as an ancestry, right? I mean, it's not random. I've always spoken about this, that where we incarnate, where we are born, the families we are born into, they're not a coincidence. They are actually part of your destiny and they're part of your essence. And we incarnate into the families that we incarnate into to come to deeper knowledge of who we are, but also into through these families, we will live out our higher potential. We will live out our destiny, our sacred destiny, right? And so this year we are dealing with this. Well, not dealing in a way like it's like we're dealing, but this is the frequency we're going to be working with, right? Your core fractal. So every fractal has particular themes, lessons that they're learning, right? You may, when we think about the fractal of, say, I can speak to this because it's easier, the fractal of the black race as a line, right? Being black, having incarnated into a black body, we have particular issues, problems that we face as black people that are similar to each other, that may be different from someone who's incarnated in a different body that is non-black, right? So when we bring this at your individual level, the people that you call your family, your ancestral bloodline, you also have lessons with them that you are here to come and heal together, to come and release any imprints, what we often call karmic imprints, that have been holding the collective group further and further away from Christ consciousness, from unity consciousness, from Ubuntu, right? So we know that with everything that has been ongoing with our history, the family dynamic has been deeply challenged, and we have moved further and further away from the frequency of harmony, right? And the frequency of harmony, I want to use Gene Key 50 for this. Okay, so in Gene Key 50, or within our DNA, within our genetics, we have the potential to vibrate, to call into being, to expression, based on three things, which we call the shadow, the gift, or the siddhi. Right? And when we are functioning from a shadow frequency, we are further away from being in unity in Christ consciousness, is in Ubuntu, in, yeah, I think I said them all. Yes, so we're further away from that. So Gene Key 50, you're with me? Are you with me? Let me know. There's this prophet that I like to listen, Prophet Lovi, he likes to say, I think someone does not hear me. Can someone hear me? So, can someone hear me? Let me know. Yes. Okay. I'm gonna breathe because that was a lot. Are you with me? Yebo. Yebo. Okay, you are here. Marcos. Yes. Okay, so let's jump to, so the energy of this year have, or at least I was led to read on Gene Key 44, which is what I was talking about earlier, which is about the human fractals, and Gene Key 50, right? The Gene Key 50 has the shadow of corruption. And the gift I have, what is the gift? Why am I losing track of my, I'll come back to the gift. Give me a minute. I got distracted. However, the siddhi, which is the divine gift, the highest level of expression of this key that is locked in our DNA, okay, is harmony, the siddhi of harmony. So right now in the year of 6, that's what we're working with. We're going to have to look into the shadow of corruption, right? So the shadow of corruption, we think of it from socio-political, economic level, and that's true. We are going to see this shadow of corruption coming through this year, right? And what's going to be revealed to us on a collective level is how deep corruption runs from the level of like our social, political, economic systems, you know, that's going to be true. However, as much as there will be a lot happening at a macro level, there's going to be the same shadow working out, playing out within yourself and within particularly your relationships. The shadow of corruption is when we bypass what we know to be true. And this was interesting for me when I was contemplating on this, because my friend Tumelo Moreri is here, and we recently had an accident. I felt like the guardians were like, here, we're gonna show you all the energies of this year. So we had a car accident, which was totally our fault. And what was interesting was later because immediately we were like, okay, we have to fix this car and do whatever is necessary to ensure that the person who we have inconvenienced is okay. And we entered a lot of conversations with everyone who was involved, and there was a lot of shock from that side on how responsive we were to take accountability for the wrong that we did, you know, and equally we were also very triggered because we interacted with how, as humans, there seems to be this discrepancy between who we idolize ourselves to be, how, especially as spiritual people, we imagine ourselves to be, and we imagine the world like this is where the world needs to go, but we struggle to see that we are individually contributing to this, and that actually to be within our Christ consciousness, this will require that on a daily basis, with every action that you are taking, you are aware of the choices you are making, whether they are contributing to corruption, not always on a global level, like, oh, I stole money from the bank. No, sometimes corruption is if we had bypassed and refuse to fix the car. That is corruption. That's the shadow of corruption. Wherever we are making these little lies in our relationships, wherever we're holding back fully, wherever we're out of integrity within our relationships, this is going to come up a lot, because we cannot enter the frequency of harmony when we are still holding on to these shadows of corruption within ourselves. We must understand the world that we want, that we desire, that we are building, that is that the cosmic beings are inviting us to step into, is not going to be created by only just big decisions being made by the collective leaders of our world. It is going to be made by us on a daily basis at an individual level, right? So that's where we're going to be invited to look into. So the shadow of corruption, which is gene key 50, it belongs to the same family as gene key 45, which is the shadow of interference, right? So these are frequencies that we're going to be seeing this year, the shadow of interference. So let's go back to our fractal conversation. Right now in the world, when we think about the relationships that we are in, the families that we are in, we are not experiencing the Siddhic frequencies of these relationships. Most of us, we are within our shadows, where in our relationship with each other, there are at least the 64 shadows that humanity has, right, that we're here to heal. Based on the two, we do see a lot of corruption and interference happening in our relationships, and this is going to be highlighted for us in 2022. The shadow of interference is within our DNA, right? Within our DNA, we are holding shadows, gifts, and CDs, right? And based on where we've been as humanity, most of us have not been able to tap into the Siddhic frequencies where we are feeling harmony within our family system, where we are feeling gene key 44. I'm so sorry, I'm all over. I have not told you the details, but gene key 44, the CD is the CD of Synarchy. So Synarchy is governance. It's this harmonious governance, right? Concept of governance. Psy means concept and Aki means govern, to govern, right? So when we are in this perfect, harmonious process of governing ourselves, because humanity is always in relationship with each other, because as of now, what we are seeing is that we have been stuck also in the shadow of hierarchies, right? And in the shadow of hierarchies, the issues we're seeing right now, that based on those who are assigned the roles of leadership, making choices that are not for the greater good, right? So, however, that's kind of like collapsing right now as we are entering the age of Aquarius. And that's going to collapse with us individually starting to ask, how do we want to be governed? And governance is not a political thing only, or a socio-economic thing. You are always in governance. Your soul is governing, first of all, your experiences, right? I wrote earlier that I've currently been looking at the legislations of my soul, which is what are the laws that you live by, that you have solely decided, and these laws are not in support of the state, the city of harmony, and the city of Synarchy, where you feel like your life is in an order that is open and fulfilling and supportive of your greater desires and destiny in the world, right? And then we can also take that to the family system, where within our families and within our relationships with our friends, our relationships with our fractals, where are we not in that harmonious governance? You know, I think when I think about from the perspective of, because I've been doing a lot of work from the Black community, the idea of every individual actually having the right to participate in the legislation of the home, the legislation of our community, that's crazy, right? It's almost as if as a child you can come and contribute to how you would like to exist in the home, or how you would like to be in the home, right? So this year, you're going to have that. The cosmic energy that are coming through are going to not almost invite you. If you've made your choice, you will be led, almost like pushed to make, to challenge where you are not, where you are in a shadow of interference, where you're in a shadow of corruption. So the shadow of interference is our belief systems, stories, and laws that we have that interfere with our potential to actually experience beautiful, harmonious relationships with our mothers, our fathers, with our family. Right? So we don't, like, yeah, I know, Timmy. That's just been in my mind lately. Yes, thank you so much. Yes, so thank you, Homolemo. So what was I saying? I lost track of my thoughts, because yeah, these ideas start bubbling. So what was it going is that we have to answer this invitation to now consciously participate on a home level, at a home frequency, at a family frequency, to shift what needs to be shifted for us to open up the potential for our fractals to either begin to experience and exist in the cities of harmony and Synarchy, right? For us to experience beautiful relationships that we know are possible. And I want to say that wherever you are, you know, even just this morning, something happened with my mother. It's nothing spectacular, but I was like, whoa, hey, there has been a change here, because I've been proactively engaging with healing my ancestral bloodline, and I see the change. And the change, maybe some people will relate, like, as the modern family, I've noticed that we have lost the daily ritual of greeting each other every morning, mostly because we just feel like I was just with you, and so there's no need for me to greet you. But I remember from this holiday, I was with my grandmother, and that's a ritual I do with my grandmother every single day, you know. And somehow when I came to the city, I just kind of like forgot it. I wasn't consciously always greeting my mother every morning. And then this morning, my mother greeted me, and I was like, wait, when did we start to do this? And it's because I've been slowly shifting the yes, Nombula, the energies of the bloodline, such that now we are consciously engaging with each other on a intimate level. There's this level of intimacy that has entered my relationship with my mother, that we can have conversations that we're not able to have. And more of this is going to open up for us. Even this year, I had to have this powerful conversations with my sister friends, which was so powerful. And I'm like, I've never had this kind of conversation before. What's happening? It's because of this frequency. Just on a bit, if we are going to release corruption and interferences in our relationships, these frequencies are often what we call our karmic ties or our karmic imprints, right? So if you are here, obviously you have clearly heard the call and you are answering this call. Since December of 2021, there has been cosmic, what we call cosmic photonic lights that have been coming down from the celestial worlds, cosmic world, that are actually helping us collapse what we call karmic imprints. So karmic imprints will be frequencies that are holding shadows, that we have with other people, right? So that perpetuate disconnection, separation, that create pain in how we relate with each other. So whether that's your relationship with your mother and father, that's your relationships with the women, that's your relationship with men, that's your relationships as, say, a genetic path cutter. So there are imprints that are not evolving us, that are not supporting us in stepping into our destiny. So for those who consider themselves genetic path cutters, they will relate with certain imprints that we hold, and these imprints, you're going to be invited to heal them. So certain imprints, like the imprint of not being good enough, is an imprint that majority of the human race holds. We are going to have to deal with that, where we feel like we're not good enough for certain experiences, relationships. We're not good enough and worthy of abundance, of harmony and peace and all these other things. For us to step into the reality of harmony, we have to look at which aspects of our cells, our DNA, believe that we're not, which we have inherited. So a lot of this still has to do with our ancestral genetic frequencies that we have incarnated into. So if you come from a family where there's that frequency of not being good enough, the frequency of the matter, the matter is big for genetic path cutters. The matter is the self-sacrificing, wanting to save people, right? Bypassing your own needs for everyone else in the family, right? Yes, you know yourself, right? You are there, mothering everyone. We can't come into harmony if we cannot trust the souls of our family members, even if we feel that they're not where we want them to be, even if we feel they're not engaging at the level in which we need them to, right? So for us to actually come into Synarchy, we're going to have to work together. But that working together, because that's the gift of teamwork. It will be grounded on trust. Can you trust the other person to meet you halfway, to meet you where you need? Or can you trust at the very least that they can handle the conversation? Or if not, can you trust that whatever is unfolding in their life, it is their soul journey, and that you do not have to save them? Right? I'm speaking to you, the genetic path cutter who's trying to save everyone, right? That is not Synarchy, that is not harmony, that is not the balance that we need, right? So we're going to have to step into trust. So the frequency of the martyr, the one who sacrifices, the Messiah, has to die. Well, not die, but needs to be shifted to the higher potential of it, right? And the way that we do that is through the gift of intimacy, right? When we are in the gift of intimacy, we trust and we open ourselves and we become vulnerable and we say, this is how I am available to do this. This is the level in which this will feel sustainable for me. This is the level in which I can support you. And I have to say no to this because it's not sustainable for me, but also it's not sustainable for your soul evolution if you keep getting saved. You know, that saying that you sometimes need someone to just like have rock bottom for them to rise up. That there's truth into that, right? So the frequencies of the family and family dynamic are going to require that level of intimacy for us. I'm not even saying that this is going to be easy, but this is what the cosmic frequencies are inviting us. So the good news is this, what I've been seeing since December, as I mentioned, there's been this photonic frequencies coming down that are helping us clear a lot of these energies, these shadows that we're holding, and collapsing them. So what I'm finding is that in my dreamscape, every night I dream of different people in my life, old friends, new friends, my family members, cousins I don't think about, that are coming through in my dreams almost every night. And I'm having this very intense dream life right now. And what's happening is that we're clearing this karmic imprints. So a lot of the work sometimes does not need us to be in conversation. Sometimes it's your willingness to say, I'm ready to heal this, because the healing we're doing is at a DNA level, right? And so when we open ourselves to that, we will open our dream world to heal, to have conversations that we are not able to have, even with people who have transitioned, but continue to heal those relationships and so forth. So be aware of your dreams. This is the year to actually have a dream journal. Like, I cannot highlight this enough. We're going to have a lot of dreams. It's going to be very, of course, this is also depending on what your personal year is, right? But dreams are going to feature a lot. What I saw, because I was talking to the guardians, I asked them to show me what's going to happen. And I had this very profound dream. I'm still processing it. But overall, what they showed me is that there's a lot of shifts that's happening in the spirit realm. A lot of fighting, because we know we are in a spiritual war, right? That's happening. And the frequencies are dropping down here as well. And the way that this is going to affect us, it will feel like things are falling from the sky. And disrupting our lives, but this is how we're going to go higher, right? So there will be a little bit of that chaos, because there's this big opening and clearing of imprints. One moment, I need to drink my water. Whew. Yes, Nombula. So this dream, I'm still processing it, but essentially what I feel is that there are going to be chaotic energies that are going to happen on a global scale. This will be connected to the shadow of corruption that we will see, right? But we need to keep calm and grounded, because what's really happening is this opening, and it is the unwinding of the genetic lines and the fractals of humanity, and we are opening what we call our rainbow body, and we're entering a stream, and we will be entering the stream in the next coming years, that are going to be unfolding as we are in this bifurcation time. And that's what we need to keep in mind when we're moving through chaos. There will be chaos in the external. This is just something we need to accept. It's very difficult, but it's important for us to adjust also our expectations of where we're going, because as the warriors of light, we are here for this. That's what we signed up for, right? And so while you may go through chaos and interferences in your life, just remember that this is us returning to Synarchy, right? A true governance that is based on the contribution of every individual, and this is going to happen at a family level and a global level, right? And so that cannot be done without chaos unfolding. And what we need to remember is actually what's happening is that the cosmic program that we have, templates that we have, they are actually trying to get us humans back into the potential of our fractal lines, the true potential that we have forgotten, right? And even if it looks like it's chaos, there is a grand design, a great intelligence that's doing all of that, right? So yeah, that's the energies for 2022. This is a good time to actually slow down a little bit and be more connected to the body. Feel your feelings. Continue with your healing work. and think more deeply about what is the highest form of your family life, the highest form of your home life, the highest form of your relationships, your unions, right? And engage with that and have that be that which leads you, that which grounds you with every choice you make this year, right? So we are abundantly supported, even if it doesn't feel that way. The support that's within this realm and outside, the support of the cosmic and celestial guides, it's so powerful. And what we can do is align ourselves with that, is to say yes to this path of I will evolve. I will go first. I will be the first one to evolve if I have to. And that may require that I have difficult conversations, but I will do it, because the beauty of this fractal lines that we belong to, it is not only possible, but destiny, that when one of the fractal lines moves and leaps into the Siddhic frequencies, they not only do this for themselves, they will pull the entire fractal line with them. This is where the whole concept of Jesus Christ, the saving humanity, comes from. It's based on the truth of when one person shifts and unwind the shadows and stepped into the city, they will pull the entire fractal line. That's thousands of people, millions of people. We have the potential to shift. So that's something to remember when it's hard and so forth. But there's going to be genetic path cutters, those of you who are in this realm of psychic gifts and so on. There's going to be an unfolding and heightening of these psychic gifts. It's because the frequency is a feminine frequency. So you're going to feel sensitivities in the body, right? I just sleep a lot, and it's just because the photonic lights coming through are so intense as we're clearing. So give yourself chance for the body to catch along, for your emotional body to come along as well. Yes, so that's it, beloveds. I hope that was helpful. Yes, I will evolve even if I am the first one. Ashe. Yes. Thank you so much for joining me. This was wonderful. I will be doing more of these transmissions, like as I said here. I think I will try to do twice a week. I don't know. This will depend on the body. But yes, I'm really excited. Yes, the sleeping is because of the photonic lights that are being sent down. And it's like each year they actually increase. And since the solstice, those lights have been... And these photonic lights are what helping us heal, okay? So sometimes we think healing has a lot to do with us engaging and going on deep journeys and contemplation, and that's true. And sometimes it's happening whether you know it or not. That's the beauty of it. We're doing so much work every time we go to sleep. So I'm going to be sharing some announcements tomorrow. We've got something amazing for you all. So check this announcement tomorrow. I will also be doing my quarterly free program in February. So that's going to come through. And also I will be launching my first program specifically for the initiation of those who have oracular gifts, right? This will be in March. This program started in March, but I'll be sharing it soon. And this year we're going to do a lot of workshops. I want to support you in ways that is sustainable, right? So I'm kind of like shifting from these once-off, one-on-one, although I can do them. If you really feel like you want to do a one-on-one with me, just send me a DM and I will try to put you somewhere, but I'm trying to not have this as an available option. But if you do want one, please feel free to send me a DM and I'll create something for you. Otherwise, we're going to do a lot of workshops, because we are going to, this year, we're going to take it to the next level. But we're also just going to be like chill, because we understand the cosmic celestial beings they've got us, you know, and all that's required is just our willingness to be in this moment, right? So, yes, okay. So interesting that as I'm saying this, someone is sending me that they would like to book a consultation. So that for now, because I love you all and I see that you need support, please just send me a DM if you are ready for that, and yeah, I'll talk to you. So that's it for today. I hope this was helpful. Drink some water and just allow yourself to sleep. It's the cosmic frequencies, and these frequencies are going to be heightened at least until March, and then they will enter a different frequency with them, but they will always be there, really, I guess, for the rest of our life. And if you're a genetic path cutter, you're gonna feel them a lot more, you know what I mean? Yes, okay, so thank you, my loves. I hope this helped. I will talk to you soon.